downtown transit center in Fort Collins, Colorado. We're on the corner of Mason and LaPorte, and we are looking for Annie, the railroad dog's grave. Arf, arf. Yeah. So she's actually easy to find. This is the old freight depot, the CNS freight depot right here. They converted the building into a transit center for buses. The old tracks are literally right here. And here's her grave right there. So it's become a historical landmark because they were afraid that, it was going to get destroyed, taking this building down. So the building and her grave were made into a historical landmark. And here she is. And here says the 30s. So it still has some of the original paint on it. And it's hard to read, but something, the CMS men. So it says, from the CMS men to Annie, our dog. And then I think it says 1934 to 1948. So she's been here ever since. They have this nice enclosure that we built here. This young man just pulled up on his bike, said he rides his bike here all the time and he's never knew this was here until we were standing here. So basically people wait on for the bus here, and then inside there's a transit center which is closed today. It's Sunday, so we can't go inside to see what's there now, but that's a very historic building too. So, and then downtown Fort Collins is right here. And the person that wrote the book on Annie said that Annie used to go over there and get scraps of food from the hotel and the businesses that were there.
Annie had the life.
She had the life.
Why don't
definitely.
you read the plaque?
Okay. Plaque here for it says, Annie, our dog. Annie, a mixed breed dog found by railroad company employees in 1934, was a prominent fixture at the Colorado and South Railway for 14 years. Her self-appointed job was to meet trains and greet the passengers. What line am I on? After her death in 1948, train crew members built this memorial to mark the grave of the station's beloved mascot. Annie's grave site is a designated local historical landmark. And then down below, it's the restoration of Annie's grave was funded in part by a grant from Colorado State Historical Fund 1997.
You go, Annie.
So here's Annie's grave, and we're trying to figure out what. There was a pole there at one time, and there almost looks like there's some numbers written there. We're trying to figure out what this used to be.
I think it's flagpole.
But there's a number. What would the numbers be?
I don't know. They were scratched into the concrete when the concrete was poured.
Yeah. Well, if there's
Could
anybody,
be some guy's birthday.
If anybody out there knows what this pad used to be,
what it looks like, huh?
If it was a flagpole or what it was, let us know down in the comments. As you can see, it's a small little grave. By my hand, you can tell it's a small little grave. So this was the building. Maybe they put her inside at night. That's what they did with Shep. They put her in, Shep the dog, they put him inside the toll booth.
Part on the left's a lot older than the part on the right.
Yeah, it definitely looks like there was an add-on to it.
Different brick.
Yeah, we're right next to Colorado State University. It's behind me. So they have a really good bus system here because of CSU. Oh, look at this. Look at the wood here. This looks like original. That is awesome. This looks like oh, and it goes all the way over there. We'll have to walk over there. I'm bummed that the station's closed. because when I look in the window, I see some historical plaques and pictures and stuff. It'd be really neat to see.
Now we know where our
Cool. This looks like the original platform. Yeah, and it goes all the way over to here. They call it a dock. Wow. Yeah. That's awesome. But there's the tracks are over here, so there must have been more tracks right here. There was probably a lot of tracks. There's just one track there. Train still runs on that.
Probably old tracks.
Yeah.
This was a major station.
And this wasn't a passenger depot, this was freight. Yeah, that's a neat old building. Very neat. Those probably opened at one time, maybe. Very cool. You do happen to come up here looking for Annie. When you come to the transit station, look for the clock, and she's literally right next to the clock. I was really surprised to find that Annie didn't have a profile on findagrave.com, which I'll be adding when I'm taking a ton of pictures. Shep the dog does, the toll booth dog in Boulder, Colorado. He's got quite a bit up there. But Annie doesn't have anything, at least that I could find. You know, sometimes searching on Find the Grave, they don't have is not the greatest search engine. Sometimes it's hard to find something if there's just a little something off. But I literally couldn't find anything. So I will add it. And you know, I also looked up to see the book, Annie the Railroad Dog, A True Story is its full title. And I found it on Amazon, but it was like really expensive. It's one of those things where there was like one book left. So I'm gonna go and see if I can find a bookstore here in town, and also go to the library to go see her memorial to see if I can find the book. So let's go find her memorial over by the public library. So yeah, this young man, kid was probably about 13, 12, was on his bike, and he came up behind me when I was filming and scared the heck out of me because his brakes, you know, were really loud. And he's like, I never knew this grave was here. I ride my bike here for years, or back and forth, and I had no idea that this dog was buried here. So that was kind of cool.
You've enlightened him.
We enlightened the youth of Fort Collins.
Oh,
so there's a sign for C&S Freight Depot. They kept the sign up. It's actually built in to the masonry. And then this is the back side with the big doors that used to open probably. So very historical. It's an awesome building. The lady who wrote the book on Annie said that she used to like go to this hotel, the Northern Hotel, and these other businesses and get food, scrap food, because literally that's where the freight yard was. So I literally went into the old firehouse books, and the clerk looked up and said, no, they didn't carry the book, but that's a bummer. And Annie's literally buried right down the street here. If you ever come down to Fort Collins, definitely check out the Old Town area. There's great bars and restaurants. I just absolutely love it down here. There's a huge St. Patrick's Day event going on down here. Definitely tell us it's a college town. That's Lucky Joe's Sidewalk Saloon is the happening place for St. Patty's Day today. So we're crossing the street here. We're on Oak Street, and there's a sign right there that says Library Park, Annie's Walk. All right. And I don't see the statue though quite yet.
That's not carved in rock.
No, there's a bronze statue too. So we're at this memorial tree, and it was planted in honor of the Grand Army of the Republic, which is people who fought in the Civil War. So when was this darn tree planted?
Years old.
Yeah, look at this thing. It's huge. It's right next to the library. And then the plaque also says National Women's Relief Corps is the one that planted it for them. It's just on the side of the library. We're gonna go check out this old cabin right here too. So also here they have an old one-room schoolhouse. Oh, there's actually several buildings, but this is closed off today. It's a Sunday and they have a bunch of old cabins that you can explore.
Looks like they moved them over here.
Yeah. Another.
Looks like a headstone right there.
Yeah, we're trying to find.
It's a headstone right there.
Well, I don't know if it's a headstone. I'll take a look. So we found this cat and dog statue, but we have yet to find the one to Annie. And then there's this.
No, it's another tree planter.
Oh, okay. So it's a memorial.
1953.
Trish
Gorder,
Van Gorder.
Why's it got a death date on it?
I don't know. There it is. It's literally right in front of the front door of the library. And it says, Annie, the railroad dog, adopted by the railroad workers in 1934. Annie spent her life as the unofficial ambassador. So it's basically the same plaque as the other one.
Yeah, Annie's been waiting a long time for this. Good puppy.
So it should be down here. It's 978.868. And there it is. Right there. They have a copy of it. Let's take a look. It's not very thick. Oh yeah, that's it. Oh, and it's in really big print. So some libraries have this in the children's section, but they have it here at the Fort Collins one on Oak Street. It is in the history section of the area. So this basically tells the story. So this talks about how Annie, she was pregnant when they found her, and she had 3 little puppies. It's got the only known picture of her. And then this is what the headstone looked like before it got deteriorated like it is now. All good dogs go to heaven. I like that. There's the CNS building we went to. That's what it looked like back in the day. Remember, we looked at the docks here. Very cool. With a doorway. That's the daughter of one of the gentlemen who took her in, that took Annie in. Very nice book. And the author, who is buried here in Fort Collins, she died in 2010 and put out some wonderful historical books. Annie, the railroad dog, a true story.